Agent Chavez has promised this is his last job for the agency. For real this time, it's not like he said this for the last 50 jobs. In this video, we're going to be looking at Chavez's strengths and weaknesses, go over his kit, and showcase two different Chavez builds. His initial build that everyone must use, and my personal preferred build. While it may not be the world's #1 Chavez, this guide should be more than enough for you to hit the ground running. Alright, let's start it up. While classes aren't really a thing in Deceive, Chavez is a vanguard. In-game, this list has an all-arounded or self-reliant fighters that can get through thick and thin, and I think that describes Chavez fairly well. He has a slightly more passive and defensive playstyle compared to some of the other agents, but he really can do well in pretty much every situation. Unlocks in Deceive are linked to the character mastery system. As you play more games with Chavez, you'll gain mastery points and mastery levels. At levels 2, 6, and 7, you'll gain cosmetics. At level 3, a new passive, 4, a new expertise, and 5, a new weapon. 7, the final passive, 8, the final expertise, and 9, the final weapon. Once you've completed your 10 mastery levels, there is a long-term progression system known as Echelons. Echelons, there's up to 100 levels. It's estimated to take somewhere between 400 and 600 gameplay hours to complete this long-term progression system, with cosmetic rewards along the way. Notably, at levels 10, 50, and 100, there's a unique costume, and at level 30, a unique ink. Now let's talk about Chavez's weapons. He's got 3 different revolvers. This first one here is kind of his baseline, and the other 2 are sort of modifications of that. So this one has somewhat medium stats across the board. High damage per shot for most of the weapons in the game here. We're at 30 and 50 to the head. All agents start with 100 HP before chips, so 2 headshots, if you're quite accurate, can just get you a kill. Low rate of fire of only 1 shot per second is somewhat a detriment, but you are hitting really hard with each shot. And then the low mag size of 6 and high reload speed of over 2 seconds there is gonna be an issue. You really don't want to be reloading in combat. That'll probably be the death of you. But all in all, this is definitely a very good weapon. Above just usable, I'd put it at good. Damage fall off is relatively far. You have 20 meters before you start losing damage, and then you still have 60% of your damage at 30 meters, which is the maximum fall off. So you're doing okay even at long ranges. Next up, we have his kind of short range spammy weapon, lower damage but faster fire rate. We can see almost triple the fire rate, almost 3 shots per second, 2.8. Damage not quite halved, 18 and 24 to the head, but interestingly at 9 shots before you have to reload, and a really fast reload of 1.5. If you're coming from the Sentinel with its over 2 seconds down to this 1.5, it feels quite quick. This one is going to go in my preferred build. It is one I really like using. It's somewhat spammy. You do have to get closer. Damage fall off is 15 meters, and you lose half of that damage once you reach 25 meters. But you can kind of just spam this one so fast, and even if you use all 9 shots, the reload's quick enough that you usually can get some more shots off. So if you're landing all your shots, you're doing real good damage with this one. So it's going to go in my preferred build. And finally, the Duke here is his final. This is his long range precision revolver, I'll call it. 40 damage to the body and 60 to the head isn't huge increases over the Sentinel, but it does meet some key breakpoints. With a gold health chip, the most amount of health an agent can have is 115. So on the Duke, hitting 40 to the body, that's going to be 3 shots to hit 120. Headshots, two headshots is 120, which is going to clear that 115 mark. Where on the Sentinel, if someone has 115 HP, you're going to hit for 90 and then 120 on the 4th shot. So a lot of, 2 shots to 4 there is a big difference. Or 3 shots to 4 can be a big difference, especially with these low rate of fires. This one's even slower, 0.65 shots per second, and also has a bigger downside of only 4 shots before you have an even longer reload. So even though this one has a lot not going for it, low rate of fire, long reload, small mag, the sheer amount of damage you can do with this, if you land a nice headshot into a body shot, or body shot into a headshot, really, in the early game when people don't have chips, you can just get yourself a kill that way, even if it is later in the game and you can get in melee range to do that last 15 damage with a punch, then this works really well. It's not going to go in my preferred build. I think if you're landing your shots with this, it definitely outperforms the Sentinel, but the Sentinel is just a little bit more forgiving. So that's my thought. If you're landing your shots with this, you're going to crush people with it. If you're not as confident in your aim, this one still does great, and this one is very spammable if a bit short range. We didn't talk about fall off for the Duke. It's 25 meters, and then once you reach 35 meters, you're still doing 70% of your damage, so you can shoot basically across the map and do good damage with this. Moving on to Chavez's expertise now, he has some very interesting ones. Hard-boiled here reads good, and then you think about it and it's not so good, and then you think back-aboard and it's kind of good again. I'm kind of mixed on this, but pretty much what happens is you hit the button and you become fully invulnerable for 5 seconds. You can't do anything during this time though. You can open doors that are already unlocked or don't have locks on them. You can't hack anything. You can't reload, which is a big detriment. You cannot do pretty much anything. You're just kind of invulnerable, and you can run around, you can sprint, and you can open doors that are already open. So invulnerability is obviously really strong, but you can't do anything while you're invulnerable except leave. And they can just follow you. You will get your cover back while this is on if the conditions are right. But usually if you're using this, you can the person will just follow you, and it really just changes your time of death from now to 5 seconds from now is often. But the other thing is you can cancel this early, which means you can kind of line up a shot on someone and cancel it unexpectedly early on them and get kind of a free shot. So you can do some stuff with it, but more often than not, I find this is just I lived for 7 more seconds or 5 more seconds than I was supposed to. So obviously this will show up in our initial build. We'll try to do the best we can with it there. It does have some combos with one of his passives later, so we'll talk about that in the passive section. That is worth noting. But pretty much this is just invulnerable for 5 seconds, which isn't always that great if you weren't already winning the fight. Gives them a chance to reload and stuff. Of course, you can bait them into a reload or something and then cancel it early. So there is some mind games you can play with it, but all in all, not my favorite of his expertise. Moving on to All-Star. This is the brand new one that was just released in Season 5, which was like a week ago, maybe at the time of this recording. So I actually kind of expect this one to get nerfed, but we'll talk about it in its current state, and I'll mention some stuff in case it gets nerfed. You get amped up, which is just move speed. You can't shoot during this time. This lasts for 5 seconds as well. If you hit an NPC, you'll just kind of bump them out of the way. If you hit a player, though, as we can see in the video, they will go flying even if they're in cover. So it's kind of like a spy check, because you can just run into NPCs, and if one of them happens to be a player, they'll just go flying, and it knocks them out of their cover, knocks you out of your cover as well, but you were already a little sus because you were moving at amped up speeds. The other thing is you can open doors. You can see in the video Chavez crashing through a door with it. So if you have enough intel or the key code on these locked doors, you'll just open it. No hacking time at all. So the really thing about that is you can like hit it just before you get to the door, hit the door to open it for free, and then you can cancel this ability, and you get a lot of the time back, the cooldown on this ability back when you do it that way. If you actually hit a rival with it, you don't get any cooldown back, but if you just use it to open a door, you get a lot of the cooldown back, depending on how long you were actually in the amped up state. So just using it to move around and not have to hack things. Hacking takes a long time, especially on those purple doors. Can take a long time. Just doing that faster gets you around the map faster, let alone just using this to run around the map faster, just avoiding having to hack things. And then on top of all of that, any gadget you bump into gets broken. So if anyone hits the shield on you, you can just all-star into it and it breaks. You are in a kind of, I won't say bad position after that, because you can't shoot while you're in on-star. You have to like cancel it, and then you have to line up your shot again. But like, you just kind of break gadgets. If there's a goo pod, you can just keep run through and break it. So Yeah, I think this is an incredibly powerful ability that I think the cooldown on is probably going to get nerfed. That's my expectation. I still think it'll be probably up there for his best, and we're going to see this in the preferred build for sure, because I just love this ability. It's really fun to play with, if nothing else, so we're going to see it in preferred build for sure. All right, now we have Return Descender, which is a very interesting ability. It's very much like his Expertise 1 in that you become invulnerable. It's half the time of his Expertise 1, only 2.5 seconds rather than 5 seconds, so half the time. But you absorb, I believe it's 70% of incoming damage. So you put this shield up, it's kind of a big red shield that kind of screams, don't shoot this. But if you can bait someone into shooting it, you can activate this in cover, so you could jump around and look kind of obvious, but with this shield up and bait someone into shooting you, then you absorb that damage into your weapon and you get to fire it back at them. Again, I believe about 70% of that damage. And you have that until you empty your clip or reload. So you can accidentally manually reload and cancel the bonus damage, which I have definitely done before. Or when your current clip is empty there, you will lose this bonus. So depending on which of his weapons you have, depends on how many shots with this extra damage you will actually have. Which is another reason his weapon 2 is pretty good, because you get more shots, or potentially more shots with this. So that's my thought on the expertises. This one's pretty good if you can bait people into shooting it. It just has the downside of the really obvious kind of don't shoot thing. I'm not a big fan of expertises where I feel like your opponent has to somewhat make a mistake, but obviously you can bait them into shooting this where they don't even know it's up. If you're still in cover, they won't see the big red shield. So if you can bait them into shooting you in cover, that definitely works. And yeah, so those are my thoughts on the expertise. This was kind of a long section, but let's push on to the passives. And onto his passive. So the first one is Tough Luck here, which uses a new mechanic we haven't seen called Gray Health. Gray Health is specific to Chavez, where some of the damage you take gets stored as Gray Health. That sum of is actually 40% of the damage you take gets stored as Gray Health, and you can hold up to 33 HP worth of Gray Health at a time. Once you're out of combat for 3.5-ish seconds, or actually just not taking damage for 3.5 seconds, that's how it detects, you just start to regenerate that. It says slowly regenerate, but it is actually fairly quick. So yeah, this one's pretty good for, like, you get a little out of combat heal basically, or if you can stop taking damage for like 3.5 seconds to trigger this healing. That's pretty good. You can put a shield down or something, might last you that long. But we did talk about the combo with Expertise 1 there, lasts for 5 seconds. So if you haven't taken damage a little bit before you hit the button, that would be good. And then you can heal up while you're in the invulnerable state from your Expertise 1. If you have to hit the button like as soon as you can, then the first 3.5 seconds of your 5-second expertise is gonna be the out of combat timer, and then the last 1.5 seconds there is gonna start healing, and depending on how much Gray Health you actually have stored by that point, you may or may not get it all healed back, but you'll definitely get some. So this ability's okay. Having full health in Deceive is way better than having like 90% of your health, just because of where all the damage breakpoints are. Like if you have 90 out of 100 HP, you should be looking to heal a little bit. So that's why this one only reaches kind of okay status, because you can't use it in combat very well, except for with the one expertise, and even then you may not get its full value based on timing. And it's not going to heal you back to full, except in some very rare cases. I think maybe just the way the damage percentages work, maybe never, because you're only storing 40% of the damage you take, so that's you can't heal back 100% of the damage you took. So it does make healing a little easier, but you're probably still going to be looking for heals after a fight anyway, but it does add some padding to your health bar. All right, Tough as Nails. This ability is good as well. You have over health. You can hold 25 more HP than you max. So even without a health chip, your maximum HP is 125. Any any healing source will push you over that 100, except for health vials. If you have exactly 100 HP, exactly your maximum, and you try to use a health vial, the game won't let you. But if you have 99 of your 100, the health vial heals for 20, so you will go to 119 over health. Over health drains over time, which is the downside, so you do have to micromanage your ability a little bit. There's food around you can eat to keep your over health up, or the social battery chip. You can stop and do social interactions along the way, yeah, you do have to micromanage this a bit, and it's kind of a big downside. For only 25 bonus HP, which is a lot, but we'll talk about why it may not be the best in slot when we talk about the next one. But yeah, you're draining at 1.5 HP per second after how long? 5 seconds. So you get your you get your extra 25% or extra 25 flat HP for 5 seconds, and it starts draining at 1.5 per second, and you have to heal that back up. All in all, I think this is too micromanagey to be good. In the past, not that it's important, the 25 flat HP was more, and then the micromanaging was worth it more, but I think just 25 HP for the amount of micromanaging you're doing isn't worth it, so we won't see this in preferred build. In preferred build, we will see endurance training, which is my favorite one, back on the gray health. Same gray health idea, except you actually turn with this ability more of your HP into gray, or more of the damage taken into gray health, up to 60-ish% from my testing. You can still only hold 33 HP worth of gray health though. And then this one is kind of lifesteal with that gray health. It's a really complex way of doing lifesteal functionally. As you deal damage, 25% of the damage you deal is going to heal you for that gray health. So out of that gray health. So it's just a complex lifesteal. As long as they're damaging you and you're damaging them, you're gonna be healing for about 25% of the damage, or 25% of the damage you're dealing. So the reason this one's good and the other one's this one's not good is because that 25 health breakpoint. This one heals you for 25% of the damage dealt, and agents have 100 HP. 25% of 100 is 25, so which is the exact amount of health this one also gives you. So if you kill 100 to 0 someone, you're gonna heal about 25 HP, and this one you're also gonna start with 25 more HP, and those work out to be the same number more or less, except you had to micromanage this one. So that's why I like this one better. You don't have to micromanage it. You're often getting about 25 HP out of it, assuming you're landing shots, which is what you want to do anyway. Again, even if you're only getting like 20 HP out of this, I still think not having to micromanage it is just better. So we'll see this one in our preferred build for sure, and I do think it's the best one, and I don't think it's that close currently. We'll briefly talk about gadgets. Well, gadgets aren't really agent specific. There's a couple combos I'll mention might be useful. The turret gets a call out here with his expertise 1 or even his 3-ish. When you are invulnerable, obviously you can't be shot. The turret could be doing work while they're focused on you, not canceling your ability early. Like if you cancel your ability early, you get a shot. So if they turn to shoot your turret, shooting them, then you can cancel your ability early while they're not focused on you. So you can get some use out of the turret that way. Another kind of funny thing we've seen with expertise 1, that 5 seconds of invulnerability, you can actually like stand over your turret and it will keep shooting, and you functionally make your turret invulnerable because you're invulnerable standing on top of your turret. It's kind of funny, a little cheesy. It's not that good though, so it's neat to mention the turret, and it does have some combos, but I don't think it gets taken very often. The other thing, the shield, we did talk about if you put a shield down and you have passive 1, that might buy you some time to start healing in combat, which can be beneficial. But of course the shield does have weak points and stuff that people can break through. I think that's the only Chavez specific combos I can see here. Of course the other gadgets all have their own usage outside of just comboing with specific abilities that may make them better. In terms of field upgrades, all, you know, these three are quite good. The expertise cooldown, again, depends on which expertise you have. If you have all-star, I find that is really nice with some expertise cooldown, even though canceling it does get you a lot of that cooldown back. This just gets it back even faster. It's a powerful ability that I'd like to have up fairly often. While playing solos, and I like to shout in solos, I don't find extended ammo pouch that useful. In teams, extended ammo pouch becomes a lot more useful because after every fight, more people are vying for the limited amount of ammo. Cover accelerator could be good with his expertise 3, so you could bait shots with it. Those are the only ones I really think to shout out. Again, maybe food. If you're invulnerable for 7 seconds, you can run to the nearest food. And I should shout out social battery. We did mention it with his passive 2. The over health is quite good too. It's basically mandatory to have some level of social battery for that ability to work, because you have to stop and heal and get that over health, stop it from decaying over and over. And as always, we get to throw exfiltration scanner under the bus and say, don't take this, it's just bad. And that is the deck. We'll be using the base deck, which is this one. No changes at all. All right, we are about to get into our build showcase. Initial builds, of course, 1, 1, and 1. And for our preferred build, we'll be using weapon 2, expertise 2, and passive 3. So we'll cut right to the gameplay now, and I will see you right there. All right, time for our initial build showcase here, starting on Sound Eclipse. Looks like we're off to an okay start because there's a guard, an elite guard, even outfit right here. Let's grab one of those, and we'll look to be heading to B with our initial intel. Yep, looks like that's about it. Spyglass out, just in case there's any more. I guess we'll open the drawers here and such.
Thank you, Santa.
Yeah, getting up to 8 intel here is kind of big. And I think I see a 2 there. Close those back up. Yeah, it's just not quite in range yet. Okay, and we'll head right up to B. We did skip a green room, but social battery is really nice to have, but we don't need it right yet. And then there's a gray safe right there. That one NPC looks kind of sus, but I think they're okay. But it's just our ammo, so we don't actually really need that one either right now, which is a little odd. The fax machine or printer or whatever is actually blocking the lock, so we can't unlock this from afar yet. There we go. If we time this really nicely, it looks good, but it doesn't. We screwed it up, so... Oh, and there was a guard literally behind us, so we could have just followed them in. Doug here's not opening any drawers, even though everyone's looking at drawers. If they open a drawer, they're a player. Alright, got up to our 8 again. We're pretty much ignoring all the safes. If I had a different gray or green, I might have stopped at either of the 2 we passed, but just because these ones aren't all that valuable, I just wanted to prioritize getting here as quick as possible. That's a little bug that happens sometimes. It just will randomly drop your input there, which kind of really sucks.
Look for another possible vault terminal location.
All right, we'll get this going. Of the 2 chips, we could have got the purple or the gold. This one's definitely the weaker for this build as well. We kind of talked about the expertise, so expertise cooldown isn't going to be that valuable, but it'll be valuable. It'll be as valuable as we can make it. So yeah, we'll see. Not quite a chipset I would have picked, but it is what you start with, so we did talk about it. No use talking about it more. This gives us 5, which will get us our blue, which is probably our most important or second most important chip. I will take a minute and open these, just because there's a relatively safe area. If anyone, comes up those stairs, we'll see them first. Okay. Like I said, if anyone comes up those stairs, we'll see him first. Did they have a keycard? Oh, they all-starred. We talked about all-star. That's how they got through that door so quickly. And that's the power of all-star and why it's going to be in my preferred build. They just got that door open instantly. So if we weren't already here, we would have had some trouble. Yeah, now we can choose between going to A or going to C. I think I am going to go to A. We did finally get our gray, which isn't going to do much for us since of just the ammo's not all that worth it. I'm not even sure if we were at full ammo before we grabbed that. Yeah. Well, we are full on those, though. Alright. Since we do have all the stuff, we can just walk through here, so A's not as scary if you can just walk through it like that. And we do get to show off the secret exit. We didn't show off the secret exit in B, but there is one out the window. And we'll grab our last ship. The secret exit is here, and you go out the waterfall, and then here, and you go out this wall. This is kind of obvious on the other side. I mean, most of them are obvious if you know where to look on the other side, but that one seems kind of just in the hallway. So at this point, we got to go to C, D, or E. And on this map, I usually run this way towards the vault before heading across, mostly because the map's like a big circle, so the inner ring of the circle is a shorter distance than the outer ring. But at the same time, also, this is just near the vault, so if something happens and the vault just pops open, we're close to it. I'm going to show this off because it's cool and for no other reason. If you have the spyglass, you can open this door from the inside by spyglassing it. I knew she was coming, so that's why we're waiting. So if you just open it and you run around, you can just get yourself in, which is really nice if you happen to be a spyglass user. And same on this other one, you can do it. And I think it's really just these two spots, but those little neat tricks are always nice to look out for. That's a green key card, so I guess we should grab it. And we'll go to D and then E. C is just like not my favorite on this map. I don't have a definite reason for it, but yeah, just not my favorite, so we didn't go that one. It's a bit far from the vault, I guess, if I had to pick a reason. Yeah, been a quiet game, although it is Sound Eclipse, which is the biggest map. So we are in the right outfit, though, so I can just walk past Hazen and in. No one followed me in. Okay, so this is the second terminal. I don't know where everyone else was doing terminals, but I guess we go to E next. A lot of keycards, too. There might have been like a big fight that I wasn't part of. We obviously fought one Chavez. Yeah, that's the second to last one. There it goes. Hopefully E is the last one. I don't have to make my way to C. Tripwire there. Where's the other? Oh, it's there. Okay. Yeah.
There is no vault terminal in this area.
That's a bit unfortunate. That does mean the last one's at C. Based on where that tripwire was, I'm gonna do a run through here. But we should be aware of more tripwires. But we do gotta go to C, so if we went out the other way, we would have to cross. And I am gonna do the same thing. This looks really strange. Do I? I was gonna go like to the vault side, because if C pops, then we want to be near the vault. Heading from here to here, like, is going to be really far distance-wise to the vault. So, yeah, kind of sucks. Knowing it, the last place is C does give us a bit of an advantage, because if it does pop, we'll know they're coming out of C. Although with the 15-second timer until, ooh, crouched people means fight, maybe? I thought they were crouched. Maybe I missaw. It's just in the corner of my eye. Yeah, so if it does pop, we'll know that they were in C 15 seconds ago. Could be some value there. Let's head in ourselves. All right, somebody was here. Vault alarm means that they are in here. This is a pretty common spot to be back here. Oh. Oh. Neither of us can hit shots. I need to actively reload this. There's a headshot. There's a... Okay, that was something. Yeah, they were camping with Octo E2, which doesn't do anything in combat. So that was interesting. But we saw some good sound clips. There was some good tips in there, and like sometimes you just win those. The last fight wasn't great. We landed a nice headshot after I missed, really awkward, but Octo's really skinny, so we'll take those. Yeah, that was our initial build showcase. Up next, we'll do the preferred build, and I'll see you guys right there. Now it's time for a preferred build showcase. We got Fragrant Shore here to start, and a decent starting room. Yeah, with Doug here, this is pretty good. We'll head over to B after we grab all this intel. Let's do it. And there's a gray safe right on the other side of this wall. Not a huge deal for us, but free stuff is free stuff.
This is how I feel after a hug.
And we'll head towards B, which usually has someone spawn in it. So I'll have to be a little aware. Grab this 2 on our way. But other than that, we're pretty good. I kind of want this health file. Yoink. Okay. Keep our eyes peeled, but we are also in a bit of a hurry, so... Carlos looking a bit odd there, but... Okay. I think we just hack this one, get more intel, and then we'll all start down the next door. Because it does go on a bit of a cooldown, and we don't have enough intel to go through both doors. Which might be a reason that intel capacity chip would be good on this. So you just all-star the door, turn off your all-star. And we can see they only used about a quarter of the all-star bar. Oh. That's good for me, except for the fact I gotta chase. I don't want to chase too far because I don't want to leave the room. But they do have a shotgun, so that's why they backed off. It was the right decision, but I also really want this hack speed. And they, like, I had to cover a lot of distance. Though my all-star was back up. That might have been an instance where I should have just used it and chased. But yeah, that's just the power of all-stars. We just got there before they did. They did get the blue here. I went out here because I assumed they didn't really have time to do that, but they did. That's okay, though. We're missing 3 HP.
Hungry for ammo.
I wonder if that's them in the same disguise. Probably not. So we'll head over to A. We didn't get any key codes, is a bit annoying. Let's grab a green here, since there's also a ton of intel in this room. Crack all this open on the way, even. Don't get stuck in the door. Okay, more ammo. We just hit our max with our gray chip, so that's our maximum. We'll heal our 3 missing HP. I'm gonna hit all-star here because we need to get in behind this lady. But we didn't quite make it far enough to get in here, which is unfortunate. We saw a bunch of stuff open, which means... Okay, we missed a couple shots. We kind of couldn't afford to miss there, but we did okay. We can use our spyglass while we're healing to get all this. They didn't actually get... no, I'm not going to pop that. We're safe to sit here for a little bit longer. I don't know that, but I'm feeling those vibes. I should also just be hacking more.
Right.
Yeah, I should have just been hacking more the whole time. Oh, I'm kind of dumb. I knew they didn't have one and that there was one open. So I should have just... If I was smart, I would have realized that means there's one in the box. Which is really odd considering where they were standing, but sure. Alright, that does fill out our whole chipset and all of the important keycards. There's another keycard there, even. Yeah, we missed a couple shots there, which wasn't very good. I also need to get better at the spray on this weapon a little bit. I'm a bit out of practice with it. I think we'll hit up C, and then hopefully that'll be the vault. Just keep our sprint on. I don't know, there's not a lot going on here right now. Okay, this intel being gone means someone's probably been through here already. Yeah, there's also food gone, so there might have even been a fight around here. We did see, yeah, Luana. Yeah, that safe's gone, just all the evidence that this is probably gone, but we do have to stick our face in it.
That reminds me of my
Vault terminal already deactivated.
Yeah.
Look elsewhere.
Now there's just so many people around, I'm a bit nervous, but that's one thing that VIPs will open drawers like that. No need to shoot them. Guess we'll keep this disguise because there's only one thing left. Oop! Oh boy. There was a madam fighting somebody clearly, but they probably snapped away. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find anything. Could be this person in green, but probably not. They were fighting somebody, so we should pay some attention. No one else is around right now, though. This is the last terminal.
Good job.
Got to be a little nervous of like every door above my head that's opening. And we are in the right disguise, so leaving here should be good if we're good at it. That is not to say that we are, though. Okay. Yeah. Kind of annoying we were a bit out of range for that fight, but with the madam probably snapping away, not much we could do anyway. Decent showing so far. To make sure our cover doesn't burn here.
Vault open.
Okay. Interested in using All-Star just for the speed. Yeah, I think we're going to. We still have to manage our suspicion bar, but yeah, I was gonna say usually this hallway's okay. So that 5 seconds of speed hopefully puts us in a bit of a lead over others. There's a printer there to be aware of. No printer there. Whoop. Don't get hit by the door. Alright, my favorite printer's here. That's good. We get to make use of a good disguise and good keycodes to get a really nice printer here. There we go. Was a little sus of that guy, but he hit the door weird. NPCs tend not to hit doors weird, or players tend not to hit doors that weird. Alright, key code.
I'm gonna low-key grab this.
I we only saw the All-Star use like once on doors. I guess maybe twice though. But I think this was just a really good game where we got keycodes pretty early. If you don't get keycodes, the All-Star makes it kind of like you have keycodes, even though you don't. So, real valuable here. And then once we actually get this going, we can always use it as an initiator, or even against Madam when she snaps away. It's okay just to like run through some people with the All-Star, because you can catch up a bit along with... She's coming down. She's coming down. Not down far enough, but she's coming down. Oh, nope, don't get that. She's looking down. Okay. I was kind of hoping she would head down these stairs. She did change disguises. Now we can all start after her. Make sure she's not healing, but she might be. She didn't grab the food on the way, which is something. What? You just teleported a foot to the left? I mean, I know it's Madam, but jeez.
On intel.
I'm stuck on stuff. That's cool.
Intel running low.
Oh, I ran out of intel. I didn't think that snap would be up again. She just ran so far. I think we kind of just have to go for it. We didn't take any damage in that fight. Annoyingly, we just have to like let her heal back to full in the time the car comes and stuff.
Look at me. Go
There's really nothing I can do about it. She's just gonna get back to like full HP. And you need to gather intel here though.
Oh,
Refill our ammo that we missed.
wait, wait.
Ooh, there's bonds here.
Extraction vehicle awaited. Intel running low. Intel.
That's her
depleting
there.
rapidly.
Alright, there we go. We got there in the end. That's all that matters. Was a bit frustrating on that second Madam snap, but we did manage to break through. The shield even came back. The outsider closed some distance, but man, that Madam snap can go far. Okay. Yeah, not a whole lot more to say about that. I always do go to the menu. Let me finish this screen first, and then we'll do a quick final overview. I do think Chavez has a lot of usable abilities. All of his weapons are somewhat preference. Expertises, we kind of talked about this one being really good, but probably going to get nerfed, and this one being not so good, and this one being kind of mid. And then passive-wise, I think this one is far above the other ones, with these two falling behind. But that's it for this guide. A subscription would really help me out in making more of these. I like if this helped you out at all, or comment on your thoughts on Chavez, or just if there's anything we missed in this guide that could help in future guides. That would be great. And I will see you in the next one.